Starfox, the royal prince of Titan, brother of Thanos.
What do you want, lads?
Your friends are in big trouble, and we know where to find them.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my Eternals deleted scene video for Harry Styles' Starfox, Thanos, and the alternate ending to the movie that they just revealed, which was going to originally be way, way darker than the ending we got in the theatrical cut. So there's a whole bunch of Easter eggs. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I do Marvel videos every week, but they just released Eternals on Disney Plus and a whole bunch of deleted scenes. So a lot of you have probably been rewatching the post-credit scenes and bigger moments. In the theatrical version of the post-credit scene, Harry Styles and Patton Oswalt show up on the Domo. The Eternal ship here is Starfox and Pip the Troll. After Druig, Makari, and Thena have been traveling through the universe for weeks searching for response signals from the other groups of Eternals that were sent to other celestial seed worlds in other galaxies. After introducing him as the Prince of Titan, brother of Thanos, Starfox reveals he's another Prime Eternal, just like Ajax was and just like Cersei became, with a special celestial core that allows him to communicate directly with Arishem the Judge, and tells them he knows what happened to the other Eternals. He knows that Arishem the Judge came to Earth to take them back to the World Forge, and he knows where to find the World Forge. That's the place where Arishem the Judge created all the Eternals and all the Deviants. But they just revealed way more deleted scenes with Starfox, and originally they had a bunch of extra backstory for him explaining his character, his relationship with Thanos, tying in more with the backstory for Titan that we got during Avengers Infinity War that explains what happened to Titan and why it got destroyed. And the darker ending sort of ties in with what they were doing with these extra Harry Styles scenes, like an Empire Strikes Back Avengers Infinity War style ending with a really hardcore downer moment. So I'll start with the deleted Starfox scenes first in the Thanos Titan backstory stuff, and then I'll talk about the alternate ending. But in the deleted scenes, Starfox is seen with the other Eternals while they're dressed in their base layers before they've been sent to a new celestial seed world, the silver grayish robes that they all wear when they're being rebooted and their minds are being wiped. This is basically what they look like between missions. Like, they've been doing this for millions of years, going around to different galaxies, different celestial seed worlds, birthing new celestials. And after each new celestial is born, no matter which group of Eternals you're talking about, which galaxy you're talking about, they all go back to their ship, and they go back to these base layer robes and get rebooted. They go into hibernation as they're sent to another world. Salma Hayek actually revealed that she was here filming these scenes with Harry Styles when they were dressed in these robes. It sounds like they filmed more flashbacks for Harry Styles' character to explain his story when he shows up in this version of the theatrical cut, but also another version of the ending where Harry Styles is with them when they're all being sent to another planet to birth another celestial. And we would have seen Harry Styles' Starfox with his original group of Eternals traveling to Titan, and more scenes of him with younger Thanos and the other Eternals that were part of his group of Eternals. The director explained that Starfox was originally part of a group of 10 Eternals that were sent to Titan by Arishem the Judge, because it's always a group of 10. Like, that's why they start with this group of Eternals and there are 10 of them before Ajax gets killed. So Starfox's group of 10 Eternals were sent to Titan because Titan was another celestial seed world. The director didn't say which celestial was inside Titan, but that was the idea. And he also rebelled against his group's mission, just like Cersei and the other main group of Eternals in this movie do, except he was not successful in saving Titan. He fled the planet before it was destroyed, rebelling against Arishem the Judge. I know it sounds like there's some conflicting information between the story Thanos told about what happened to Titan and what they were going to say happened during the Eternals movie, but in all these alternate Starfox scenes, it's implied that the emergence on Titan was the reason it was destroyed. I think that Thanos' story about overpopulation in Avengers Infinity War fits with the Eternals' true mission to drive overpopulation in order to speed up the emergence. If you think about it that way, it's not as much of a continuity issue. Each celestial needs to feed off a certain amount of cosmic energy given off by life on planets, so the more people, the faster that happens, and Thanos said that he wanted to kill half the population on Titan to prevent that from happening. So the idea is that Thanos also probably learned about the emergence on Titan and tried to stop it by getting rid of half the people.
You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
So this is a new way of contextualizing Thanos' plan to balance half the universe. It makes him seem like more of an anti-hero than a total villain. Like getting rid of half the population to stop the Celestials from creating more Celestials. And I think that's why Starfox also didn't try to stop Thanos earlier from snapping half of all life with the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, if Starfox is another Prime Eternal with this Celestial core, it means he's crazy powerful. But if Starfox also rebelled against Arishem the Judge, the way they explain in this movie, he also wouldn't have wanted to stop Thanos, because it sounds like Thanos also had this grand plan to stop the Celestials. It's just that Thanos was going about it in the most hardcore, dark way possible. I did a longer video about how the Eternals movie recontextualizes Thanos' plan, making him seem like more of a hero, so I had a link for that in the description below. But the alternate ending, the downer version of the ending that the director said she originally wanted to use, started with the Eternals failing to stop the emergence on Earth. Like Tiamat would have successfully been born, burst out of the Earth, destroying everything. All the remaining Eternals would have survived, and Ajax would have somehow survived or been repaired by Arishem the Judge. And the movie would have ended with them back in these gray robes, being rebooted and sent to another celestial seed planet, and the cycle would have started again. And it seems like they also shot a version of that downer ending with them being rebooted again with Harry Styles' Starfox character with them. The reasons why I think Marvel didn't want to use that version of the ending is 1, because it's super depressing, and 2, it would have raised too many questions about the continuity, because how could they destroy Earth and still say this was the main MCU universe? It would only make sense if the events of the movie were happening in an alternate universe, and the Eternals movie wasn't supposed to be a big multiverse plot the way Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness are multiverse movies. There's just way too many cosmic concepts and new mythology with the Celestials and the Black Knight that they were introducing in the film. And the Eternals movie is supposed to take place after the events of the Shang-Chi movie, which itself takes place around the time Spider-Man is getting doxxed by Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, like later in 2023. So the events of Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye are currently the latest the furthest forward we've been in the Marvel Phase 4 timeline, because they both end around Christmas 2024, if that wasn't clear. If you do want to count the Loki series, yes, they do travel to the end of the timeline, like billions of years in the future, but all this stuff at the end of the Eternals movie is happening around the time that Spider-Man No Way Home is picking up, and there aren't really any Easter eggs for that during Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, you have to imagine on the other side of the planet while this is getting started, there's this giant stone celestial showing up in the Indian Ocean. Like, wait a minute, what? You have to imagine J. Jonah Jameson would be trying to blame Tiamat on Spider-Man somehow. He would find some way to blame Spider-Man for that. And a lot of you have also asked how Starfox and Thanos can be brothers and the sons of Alars and Suisan on Titan if they're all Eternals, and all Eternals are just celestial robots who can't have children. And how did Starfox become the prime Eternal of their group on Titan?
Welcome, Thanos, son of Eros.
So just based on all these deleted scenes and storylines that they've revealed, they imply that Arishem the Judge created Starfox's group of Eternals, all 10 of them together, including Thanos. So the MCU version of Thanos and Starfox were probably not born biologically the children of Alars and Suisan the way they were in the comics. In their family, in the same way that all the Eternals think of each other as a hodgepodge family of sorts. Like the Eternals that we see during the movie all think of each other as family, but they're not biologically related. I think the Red Skull scene from Avengers Infinity War where he's greeting Thanos and Gamora actually backs this up, because he says Gamora, daughter of Thanos, and she was not born to Thanos, like he was her adoptive father. So when he says Thanos, son of Alars, in the MCU at least, it's a little bit different, and he's not saying that they're biologically related. I think they probably just changed that part of their backstory just in the name of simplicity for MCU continuity purposes. The reason why Thanos looks like purple Space Grimace with the nutsack chin, different from all of the other Eternals from Titan, is because he carries the deviant mutation, but he's not a deviant himself. He's another Eternal that just looks different. In the MCU, the way they explain this is that all the Eternals are created to look similar to the beings that inhabit the celestial seed worlds that they get sent to. They're just created to blend in with whatever populations they go to. So that's why Phastos looks different from Makari, for instance, all of the others, why they all speak with different accents. They were just created to blend in. When they get rebooted and sent to a new planet, they're just sort of reprogrammed to blend in with whatever population is on that planet. So for instance, if a group of Eternals was sent to the Skrull homeworld or a world in the Skrull Empire, the Eternals would look like Skrulls. And based on Starfox's backstory, they imply that Thanos rebelled against their Eternals mission first, like he learned about the truth of the emergence first on Titan and was banished by Alars after he tried to get them to kill half the population to stop the emergence.
You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
Then after he was gone, something happened to Alars, he also died, and then naming Starfox his successor, passing his celestial core to him, and that's how Starfox would have become the prime Eternal of his group on Titan, taking over their emergence mission. But then also himself, eventually rebelling against Arishem the Judge and escaping, the same way that Cersei rebelled after she got the celestial core from Ajax. And the next time he shows up in a movie, Harry Styles shows up as Star Fox, like during Eternals 2 if they do a sequel or some other MCU space-based movie, they'll cover more of his backstory with Thanos on Titan. So eventually they will tell the rest of that story. For those of you that want to see more of young Thanos, like the thinner version of Thanos, we can call him Thanos. But if you have any other questions about Star Fox and Thanos, just write them below in the comments. I might do another video about the Celestials and the cosmic history of the MCU now that the movie's come out. So if you have any other video requests or any other big cosmic questions about the MCU, just write them below in the comments too. Everyone click here for that new Eternals Black Knight deleted scene for Kit Harington's character, and click here to learn how Thanos saved the Avengers from the Celestials. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.